So something I've wanted to talk about for the past week or so is Studio WIT, the studio who brought us the first 3 seasons of Attack on Titan. They've made Vinland Saga. They've done a lot of big things, and when they originally announced that they would not be continuing Attack on Titan for its final season, a lot of people were shocked, they were mad, they were this and that. And at first, I was disappointed myself because I was worried, like, would we get a good studio to do it, and ended up being MAPPA, and I am a firm believer that MAPPA carried on WIT's legacy. But a lot of people had, like, questions, like, they're like, why would WIT not want to continue the moneymaker Attack on Titan? And it pretty much boiled down to a couple of things, right? One, they made hardly any money from the sounds of it based on the original contract that they made. For them, it's way more profitable to do series like Vinland Saga or their own original ideas where they'll actually have much more shares in the profit. And two, they pretty much killed themselves between seasons 2 and 3. It was a hell production cycle, there's no other way to put it, and they were done. They said, we might like the source material, but it's not worth killing ourselves for no money. Taking a look at their production since then, because Vinland Saga happened right after Season 3 Part 2 ended. They did Vinland Saga for 2 more seasons, and Vinland Saga was a damn masterpiece to me. And we were unsure, like, are they going to continue, like, doing stuff like Vinland Saga, or are they going to do Attack on Titan? And what's fascinating to me is the difference in seemingly beliefs at Studio WIT now versus when they were doing Attack on Titan. It almost feels like because of how hellish the production was for Attack on Titan, which no other studio was willing to do it other than MAPPA after WIT dropped it, seeing what they have done and what they have planned going forward is insane to see the difference in scheduling and seemingly their beliefs on how they handle anime. Vinland Saga, I'm not too sure about the production and how that happened, but I do know that it seemed like that was going to be a show that they wanted to continue doing in an appropriate time. And given the fact that we even haven't had Season 2 confirmed yet, but seemingly there's been animators teasing that they're working on Farmland Saga, which is the next arc in it, it seems like Studio WIT isn't willing to maybe bend to production committees the same way they used to with Attack on Titan, where they're perfectly fine making people wait 2 or 3 years for another season of Vinland Saga, where a production committee for Attack on Titan says, give us this in a year, or screw you, basically. But what makes it really interesting to me is, most importantly, their newest anime that's airing in this season, which is spring of 2021, which is Vivy, which is an original anime that's co-wrote by the authors of Chaos Child and the ReZero author, which was actually really interesting because they had them actually write a novel that they would then adapt into the anime, and I guess they're planning on hopefully releasing that novel eventually. What's interesting is it seems like this production has a very healthy production cycle, and if you know anything about anime in Japan, healthy production cycles aren't a very common thing. Anime is worked on week after week, and most episodes are finished a day or two before they officially air. And when you look at North American productions, that's not very normal. The only show that I can think of that has a large following that makes episodes that close to air date is South Park, because they make their episodes within 7 days, and a lot of times their episodes are finished hours before they air on Comedy Central. But then again, that's a comedy show with not as much insane movement, so to have a show like, say, ReZero or Vinland Saga or Attack on Titan, like having a production where you might be finishing episodes a day before it airs, it's a little frightening and it's not healthy, and the animators don't make a lot of money. But seemingly, Vivy has a very healthy production cycle, and the way the creators have talked about it in interviews, it feels like this should be impossible to crash and burn despite how high quality the visuals are for this show. And even looking back when, I think it was the first anime they released after everyone knew WIT dropped Attack on Titan, which was Great Pretender, that seemingly had a good schedule as well. But what made my mind race the most about how we're seemingly seeing a different WIT studio than when they were doing Attack on Titan is an anime that is scheduled for fall, which might get pushed back if WIT decides that they don't have enough time to finish it in a healthy way, is Osama Ranking, or I think it's called King's Ranking, something like that. You would think this is a Studio Ghibli film by the looks of it, and they already have this much animation shown in a preview seasons out from when it's officially airing. And even though it's maybe simpler character designs than something that like Attack on Titan or Vivy, they're already previewing that much animation while working on Vivy, while also seemingly working on this at the same time. This is clearly a different WIT studio than when they did Attack on Titan, and honestly I'm proud. Granted, it's Japan, granted it's the anime industry, things could change, but seemingly the projects that they've done since Attack on Titan have had a different philosophy, And I hopefully feel like this is a good sign going forward for the studio, that not only will they continue to adapt what they want, they'll also have better schedules. Like, I know there's some people upset that we still have heard nothing official about Vinland Saga Season 2. To me, that's a great sign. Vinland Saga Season 1 was a masterpiece to me. And the fact that, hopefully, if WIT Studio is the one doing Season 2, they're taking their time, and even if they're not doing Season 2, all their projects since then have seemingly had good quality and not as much insanity as what they've been doing before then. It just makes me happy, and it makes me proud, and it makes me optimistic for their future, as if they took all the hellish experiences that they did since they branched off from Production IG, I believe is who they branched off of, and seeing where they are now, I'm hoping they'll be an industry trendsetter alongside studios like Kyoto Animation. It's just something I wanted to talk about. It's something that's making me hopeful, and even though I know it's not going to be a change overnight for all these studios, even though it feels like maybe it's a rare occurrence, it almost feels to me as an outsider looking in that Studio WIT, they had a wake-up call after Attack on Titan, and things are changing for them, and I hope it's going to be something that's going to stick with them. Granted, I'm not a professional on the matter. This is all just what I've seen from just honestly watching the anime and reading interviews. It could be a completely different thing behind the scenes where it's actually still just as hellish, but it does give me hope, I have to say, and that's something that I think the anime industry and anime community needs to hear more about. This is a bit different of a video than I normally make. I typically just do the episode reviews anymore, but whenever I have an idea like this or just something that's on my mind, I wanted to discuss it more because it's just fascinating to look at the industry and things like this, and just a studio that you would have thought would do Attack on Titan until they died, and pretty much almost did, are now in such a better place, it seems like, and it's really interesting. But anyone's thoughts on this topic and what you're thinking about the industry overall, let me know your thoughts down below, like if you enjoyed, and subscribe if you're new around here. So until next time, everyone, please take care and have a good one.